everything. Can't you see who I am? Just let me be. Cause like all that matters is that God loves me. Who I am and this is me. I feel best when my soul is free. Who I am, just let me be. Cause like it or not, but God loves me. Who I am, yeah, can't you see? I feel best when my soul is free. Beyond my body, can't you see? All that matters is that God loves me. Who I am, just let me be. Cause like it or not, but God loves me.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Viewers at home, you're welcome to another edition of Wise Ladies, and inshallah today we'll be discussing Lend Allah a Beautiful Loan. What are the virtues of charity giving, or what are the reasons, or why did Allah even ask us to give charity? Who are those that are supposed to benefit in charity? Inshallah, I have competent guests in the house to do justice to this topic. But before I introduce my guests, we quickly go on this short break, and after which Wise Ladies continues. You're welcome back, and if you're just joining us, is Wise Ladies, and today we'll be discussing a topic that concerns all at large, and that topic is Lend Allah a Beautiful Loan. Why give in charity? Who are those entitled to this? And this and so much more, my sisters, my wise ladies in the house, will be discussing, inshallah. To my far left, I have Haja Mutiyat Orolu Balogun. She is a legal practitioner. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And sitting very close to her is Halaja. She is Mrs. Halima Atonda Shoremi. She is a state counsel with the Lagos State Ministry of Justice. Assalamu alaikum, ma.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakumullah khairan for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
Today we'll be discussing an issue that concerns all, an issue of great importance in our deen and even in the society. And that topic is Lend Allah a Beautiful Loan. We are talking about giving a loan, giving in charity. I would like to ask, what is charity?
Yes, charity can be monetary and can be otherwise. You can give money in charity. You can give food in charity. You can give clothes in charity. And even the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has said, Tabasumuka liwaji al-akhik sadaqah, that to smile in the face of your brother or your sister, as it were, is charity. And even kind words is charity. To remove any harmful thing from the road is charity. So charity it is a lot of things. Anything that you can give to benefit others, I would say, can be considered as charity.
Okay. We have looked at the fact now that charity could go beyond material things, physical things that we can see, and even the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam exemplified this in his life or during his lifetime. What do we give in charity?
Well, alhamdulillah, first and foremost, I think we have to know that charity itself is worship, because Allah, in His infinite mercy, gave us the pillars of Islam, and charity becomes very important where He let us know that charity is one of the pillars of Islam, and it is a third pillar of Islam, and because charity itself is worship, there are a lot of things to give in charity. Only from what my sister said here, charity can be in many forms. It could be in monetary value. It could be giving your brother or your sister in charity. Who are those we give charity to? We give those that are less privileged. There are a lot of people in our society that are less privileged, that cannot afford some basic things. We give them. We give the babies, the children. We can give children charity because we have so many motherless babies around. We can give them charity.
The
orphans, the old people, and so many people that need our hands in charity. Also, we can give to the community charity. Imagine a person that lives in a particular community, and you know that the community needs some basic amenities. It could be water, it could be bad road. We don't have to wait for the government to do all. You in your own personal earnings and gains, you can actually try to do some things, because doing them will be giving charity to Allah, and then Allah only rewards those that give charity, because charity helps to purify your earnings. So if you know charity, the essence of charity is to
You would even
purify
want to
your earnings.
give
You
more.
want to give more according to your own capacity. The Quran has, Islam has not said we should go beyond our bounds. It has only said we should give out of what we have, in charity, so it can purify
Fine,
our
and
earnings.
even from what you have said, to prefer our earnings, we should then know that whatever you are giving from charity, it should be what is legally earned. Because Allah said in over Surah to Baqarah, I don't know, but it's in Surah to Baqarah, that you should give that which you love. You should give the good things that you have earned legally. It should be not something that you yourself will not like to receive. Because we find out that a lot of us Muslims, when we give in charity, it is that 10 naira that has faded, or that 20 naira that you will not even be able to use to enter a bus, that you eventually want to spend in charity.
Or
We
that
should-
very old clothing that you might not
Yes.
even be able to wear
That's not
yourself
useful.
anymore.
Exactly. Or that food that has gone bad, that chicken that
Okay.
you have tasted and you say, this chicken is tasting fun, I don't think it's good anymore, and you call your daughter and say,
security
go and
man.
give the security man, or go and give so and so lady with her children, something that you yourself cannot receive. If you look at charity as something, like you said, give Allah a beautiful loan. If you look at charity, which that is how it is actually, as falling first into the hands of Allah, and Allah decides whosoever to give.
In fact, we can actually draw the principle of charity from Allah Himself. Allah gives us charity, because if you see Allah, He has, out of His rahmah, out of His blessings, given us what we need to sustain in life. He has given us food, because we were only created. When we were created, we got to the earth and we found fertile land, we found grass, places to plant. In fact, we found, when you throw away tomato paste or a little bit of it
Out
to
of
be
Allah's
tomato
rahmah,
remaining,
it grows.
because of our rahmah, it grows. And then Allah Himself gives charity, and that is why He doesn't want us He doesn't want Jahannam for us. He wants Jannah for us. So because He wants what is good for us, He asks us, Man dha alladhi yuqridullaha qardan hasana. Who among you wants to transact with Allah and would never fail? So charity itself start from Allah, because Allah gives us charity. Look at Him, out of giving charity, look at another thing He did. He gave us the month of Ramadan. The month of Ramadan is charity from Allah, because He has seen that in the 12 months would have fallen short of His glory, would have done one thing or the other. Oh, this is a month to purify yourself. This is a month to purify yourself spiritually, to purify yourself health wise.
Yes,
You
and,
know,
and
and then
whatever thing you do, like you said in Ramadan, is charity from
It's
Allah.
charity from Allah.
Allah doubles it. If you do a nawafil, it is raised to the status of a compulsory,
Imagine.
act of
Ibadah.
ibadah.
All because of Ramadan.
So, and like she said, that who would do business with Allah? It is only in Allah's company, so to speak, that you invest and go to sleep, and you
And
will know you
never
will always
lose.
reap. It is only in Allah's shares that you can buy, that you know it will never crash.
Another thing,
So,
another
giving-
aspect of giving charity you will see is when Allah gave us the provision of doing kosher. The Prophet one time called his companions and told them, if you travel 40 kilometers away from your home, then do kosher, shorten your prayer. And they asked, even when we return back to our home, he said, yes, will Allah give you charity and you
And you
refuse?
refuse it.
He said, when you are fast, he said, if you want to fast, eat sahur. He said, even if we can afford to fast without sahur, he said yes, because it is charity from Allah. So Allah Himself is the Lord of charity. He gives charity, and He enjoys us to give charity, because He rewards charity in manifolds.
Alhamdulillah, I mean, Allah gives charity, and everything we have is even beyond what we need. If you look at Allah's rahmah today, you realize that Allah gives us our basic needs, which are clothes, shelter, and food. Beyond that, you live in a comfortable home, you drive a comfortable ride. You see people living in affluence, and yet a lot of His infinite rahmah has not even decided that, because this person is even arrogant with it, let me collect it.
Allah still leaves us
It
with
still
it.
lives it with you. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Okay, I want to ask you a question now. Most times it is believed that when you give so much in charity, that you make the next person, that's the receiver, you make that person lazy. How true is that actually?
Well, maybe to an extent it might be true, especially probably if the person hasn't got a job and the person relies on you solely. Maybe if you feed, you give him pocket money, you pay for his children's school fees and all that, it might encourage laziness. But we should remember that Islam is a whole package. Even Allah has challenged us in the Quran that, are you going to take part of the Quran, believe in half of it, and you're going to believe in the other half? So Islam is a whole package, and everybody knows that even when you are poor and needy, that part of relying on Allah or believing in Allah is to seek your own means of livelihood. Some people, probably because of the responsibilities they have is greater than the amount they can earn, then they become poor and needy. It is not that they do not work. So it's not an excuse for anybody to say, okay, there is my uncle that is rich and is providing for us, and I'm not going to do anything. What if Allah takes him away? So people that receive charity should think in that way. However, for anybody that is giving charity, you should not stop giving charity just because you think a person is going to be lazy if you keep giving it.
And apart from that, when you look at the reason in charity, Islam and the Quran is talking to everybody. It wants everybody to enter Al Jannah. It wants everybody to get rewards. And so when you look at the concept of charity, it is for all of us. It is even for the giver. It is even for those they give. They can give you and you also give in return. Another thing is that because the Prophet has also always reminded us that the upper hand is better than the lower hand. If I have the notion that the hand of the giver is better than the hand of the receiver, and she has the notion that the hand of the giver, everybody wants to give.
So you find where you will not even find a person that wants to receive.
Yeah, and that is the essence of zakah in Islam, is to share funds and income equally. When you give and I give and they give, who do we have to give? It brings a balance in the economy, balance in the society.
At least it tries to. Some people will definitely always be
gap.
richer,
Yes.
but it will bridge the gap that everybody will be in a level where nobody has to beg again. But again, when, like we have said, charity does not have to be material. Even if you are poor, you cannot afford to give anything out. But there are broken bottles on the road. Have you picked it? You have seen a child or your brother, have you smiled at him? If you don't have to have money to give charity, have you met a stranger with kind words?
Yes.
So all those things, Allah and His Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam have taught us that all those things are charities.
In fact,
And
we
even
can
as
relate. We can relate this to the time of the Prophet
Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
when the Prophet was just made a prophet. He was just given the mandate of being a prophet. And there was a time he helped exchange an elderly woman who was, of course, stranger. He never knew her, an elderly woman, to carry her load from a very long distance to another place. And the woman was so astonished that this young man can help me do this. And when they got to the destination, and then the Prophet ﷺ had to return the loads back to the old woman wanted to leave him with a word of advice and said, "My son, you have helped me and I would loan you a word of advice. You see, in this community, there is a man called Ahmad. He has come with new things, new virtues. He has come to tell us that our customs and traditions should be weighed off and we should stop our customs. He has come to teach us new things, to stop worshiping and then to start to worship Allah. He has come with a news. Do not follow him because he has come to stray you." And he smiled and told the elderly woman that, "I am Ahmad. I am the person, and I am Muhammad, and I am the Rasul, and I have come with Sallallahu, and I have come with the good glad tidings. I have come that you believe Allah and Allah." He said to Muhammad Sallallahu that if this is you, Muhammad, and this is the message you have come to preach, that you do not know me, I'm a strange woman, and you have helped me, then I have accepted your news and your worship, and I have accepted to worship your Lord, because you must be on the right path. So this is charity. A Muslim should be the first person to give charity. Look at a woman in Italy. They said there's a non-Muslim woman in Italy. What she does is to provide for straying cats in the community that stray away from their home, that do not even have homes at all. She makes provision to feed them. These are things that Muslims should do.
And even from that, even in Hadith, it is said, the Prophet said that envy is not permitted except in some cases. And part of what he has mentioned is that in a man that spends his wealth, that has wealth, and spends it on the path of Allah. So that shows us that when you have, you should spend it in Allah's way. And to even know that, like we were saying earlier, that when you invest in Allah, you can never run bankrupt. You can never run bankrupt. So instead of investing in all those things that, maybe this business will grow or not, are you investing in charity? It's just like having a bank account for the hereafter. That you don't know how many returns, as in the percentage of interest or the return on investments that you are going to have. It is not as if you are going to need money in Al-Jannah or anything. But if you have that mindset that this thing is a form of investment for you, not only in this life and in the hereafter, you would be encouraged to give that. And even if you look at people that are not even Muslims or people that don't even believe in God, you see that sometimes they prosper And some people wonder, these people don't believe in Allah and they prosper because they do good and because they give charity.
The
Allah is
instance
not
is
unjust.
Fela Foundation. Fela
And
has a foundation. He helps undergraduates and graduates for their schooling. There's also Ford Foundation. These are all foundations that help in the cause of Allah, just to do good in the cause of humanity, cause of the community. Then the Muslims are supposed to be better or supposed to do more. Look at the Prophet Sallallahu told us and taught us that when a man dies, three things goes with him. Look at it. Islam is so good that it teaches us, it tells us about how we can even be prosperous in this world and the after. He said number one, he said the good deeds you do, Sadaqah to Jariyah you do, like placing in a community potable water for people to drink, good roads, or establishing a school where people learn, or you having a knowledge and teaching it is charity. And then speaking good, the good words you do, and then the virtuous children. Like children are rahmah from Allah, and parents are custodians, they are trustees. And Islam is so beautiful that when you even spend on your family, it is charity. When you spend on your juniors in the office, it is charity. So Islam makes every little thing we do charity. If a man spends on his wife,
it's a charity that's even better for him than the one he does outside.
Yes.
So alhamdulillah.
Yes, and likewise a woman as well, because a lot of us just focus on the fact that yes, Islam permits you to keep all the money you earn if you are working. But remember, a woman came to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and asked if she could give zakat to her husband because she was richer, way richer than her husband. And the Prophet said yes, that was better to even give to him. So if a woman has money, especially we women, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has charged us to spend much in charity, because we are known to be the ones that we backbite a lot, we gossip, we slander, a lot of things, and we are ungrateful.
And the Prophet Sallallahu has reminded us that we should we should relate to all women to be good, though, because in Jahannam, women are the most in Jahannam. And why are they the most? God would not let us be part of them. Because they backbite, they are never appreciative to their husbands. Whenever their husband give them anything in charity, they say it is never enough.
And they just compare that, look at so and so, her husband gave her this, or maybe even if it's a wedding gift or an anniversary or something, her husband gave her a diamond ring, or her husband, we always want to compare. When we sit down as women and talk, we're always probably flaunting about my husband did this, my husband, and the other woman is thinking, oh, I'm going to show him when we get home today. They work in the same company. How come she's getting that?
Even the same salary.
How come she's getting that much pocket money and is just giving me this paltry sum? So a lot of women are ungrateful to their husbands. So we are meant to even be spending in charity so that it will rub off all those things that we consider very, very little. But it is charity that wash off all those things for us. So especially for women, the need to do charity should not be underestimated. We should not see it as just, if even if you don't have money, I'm not working, I'm a stay-at-home mom, I don't even have any pocket money, it's whatever is left for the household I can, you understand, but still smile at someone.
In fact,
share your food with someone. Yes.
Another thing is charity. That whenever Allah mentions the men in the Quran, he mentions the women.
Yes.
So Islam does not tell us that a woman does not have the deen, or a woman does not have, like you will say, a woman does not have religion. No, a woman has, because wherever it mentions al-mu'minin, it mentions al-mu'minat, as-salihin, as-salaha, was-sadiqin, wal-mutasaddiqin. It actually mentions it. So all of us should struggle. When you have a man, the husband that is giving in charity, you see some wives always wanting to curb them, that it's too much to give this. We should always be the one to encourage them. It's not to tell us that we should do more than our power. Islam has not taught us to do more than we can afford.
Because there's even a verse in Surah Isra that Allah has even told us not to be spendthrifts. We should not give everything. You should not I don't know how to say it.
We should not leave our family poor.
Yes, you should not leave your family poor just because
you
want to
give. There was even a story during the time of the Prophet Sallallahu where his Sahaba wanted to give out everything he had for the sake of Islam, and the Prophet had to tell him to keep some for himself and his family.
Yes.
So that's an instance to the fact that we shouldn't give out everything we have, despite the fact that Allah encourages that we should give as Muslims.
Yes, and it's even very wonderful to know that Allah loves us, and He has told us that He wants ease for us. If Allah were to ask us to give everything we had, I don't think it is too much to give in Allah's cause. But because Allah knows our nature, He knows how He has created us, He has even told us, you should spend in His path, but don't be spendthrifts, and you should not be stingy as well. But it should be, in the middle course. Remember when Allah was describing the Ibadur Rahman, He said those that apart from what's mentioned, he said those that spend in Allah's cause, and those that they are not too stingy and they are not spendthrifts, but regards to their spending, they maintain
In
the
a
middle
middle
course.
course.
So when we are giving charity, it is good to maintain middle course. We should encourage our husbands, our friends, when there is a charitable deed going on, especially now. That there are lots of opportunities, even in our society there are lots of opportunities to give charity,
especially during this month of
Month of
Ramadan.
Ramadan.
Because
Poor
imagine,
people.
charity becomes also important for the month of Ramadan, for our fasting, because this is a month where we give zakah. And we give
Zakatul
zakatul fitri. And zakatul fitri, the essence of zakatul fitri is to purify our fasting. So usually Allah wants the best for us. He loves us, and then he wants us to have the best of reward. So he gives us opportunity after fasting, give alms. After praying, give alms. Because after praying to Allah, he has accepted it. But he wants you to make another person happy. If I accept your prayer, then make another person happy. And then you give in charity that which you can afford. And then he blesses all we give. Allah accept all this
As an act of ibadah. I mean, our discussion, it just occurred to me that the fact that we are here seated discussing about charity is also an act of ibadah, an act of charity, because we are giving back to the society one way or the other. We are encouraging people to do good. We're calling to the part of Allah. We're calling to the part of an ibadah, and it is a form of charity. May Allah, out of His infinite mercy, accept it from us as an act of ibadah. It is believed that charity covers sins, sicknesses, diseases, and all. I would like you to please dwell on this a little.
Well, I know I've heard a hadith that talks about that charity prolongs life. Prolongs life, because I can remember, like, even when we were kids, at a particular time they would want to encourage that you give a lot of charity. They would tell us that when they are giving money for Eid, you should keep it, and that when you spend it, after having lots of money and spend it in charity, it prolongs your life. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has taught us a lot of things, and especially charity, he has encouraged that we give charity. Like we are talking about, we're talking about the wealth. It also has something to do with our lives as well, and even illnesses. He has told us that they are a form of washing away of our sins. So all those things, they go hand in hand too.
Please, we are running out of time. Actually, my director has been giving me some signs. I'd like to Hajia Halima to quickly talk about the benefits in the society in few sentences.
The benefits are not far-fetched. The first is that Allah helps to purify our earnings when we give in charity. He also helps. He makes our dua accepted on time. And then it helps affect positively the community. A Muslim in a community should be seen as different, because Allah said we are the best of mankind because we're enjoying what is good. Part of enjoying what is good is giving in charity that which you have. A Muslim takes obstructions away from the road in his community. They know him to always do good. They're taking all that. I'm sure it will be Ajia. I'm sure it will be my brother. And then a Muslim does good in his environment. A Muslim speaks good to his brother. A Muslim smiles to the Muslims and the non-Muslims. Charity is not to Muslims alone. Imagine a man that stays in a flat that has his neighbor's wife, going through labor pain. You can actually go and help her, or you understand, help her take her to the hospital. You see your neighbors, your neighbor, your brother's property being destroyed by something, probably rain or something. You help. All these are acts of charity, because Muslims are supposed to be models in the community.
Society.
We're supposed to be models. We're supposed to be people that the whole community look up to see virtuous acts and virtuous deeds. May Allah make us the best.
Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you so much for coming. I'm indeed grateful to have you people in the studio. Alhamdulillah. May Allah reward you abundantly. It is mentioned in a hadith that you should give in charity and cure your sick through charity, because charity repels sickness and diseases, and it increases your life and your good deeds. It's on this note that I would call it a day by saying Salamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Nothing, everything, can't you see who I am? Just let can't you see? Cause like all that matters is that God loves me. Who I am, and this is me. I feel best when my soul is free. Who I am, just let me be. Cause like it or not, but God loves me. Who I am, yeah, can't you see? I feel best when my soul is free. Beyond my body, can't you see? All that matters is that God loves me. me feel. 'Cause like it or not.